Hey guys, Sheena here. So I just wanted to talk about two things that have inspired me lately. And one is the story of Rumpelstiltskin, which I believe is a Brothers Grimm story, if I'm not mistaken. Um, I love the darker kid stories. Um, And I love the story of Rumpelstiltskin. I'm going to be reading from my notes a little bit. So, in the story that I read, it was a version of Rumpelstiltskin. But, anyways, in the story, the girl was seemingly thrown into a crazy situation, right? The daughter. So, what happens is, I think there's this guy who works within the king's courts, and he was bragging about his daughter. The king overheard, and he said, "What did you say?" or whatever. And then the guy goes, "My daughter can spin hay or whatever into gold thread." Why would he say this to the king? I don't know. Sounds like an awful father to me. Because what do you think is going to happen after that? She's going to get exploited, right? Who knows? Maybe he wanted to get rid of his daughter. And he wanted the king to exploit her because maybe it was held back in those days where they really couldn't afford to have kids. Then maybe he was dirt poor. See, but this is the thing and why this story inspired me. Because even though this girl was thrown into this awful situation, everything worked out for her. So, okay, this girl seemed to have three enemies. So anyway, she's put into this room and told that she needs to spin this hay and turn it into gold, or else she'll die. Like, he'll kill her. She'll be killed, whatever, threatening her life. So this girl seemed to have three enemies: her father, the king, and then the other enemy that enters into the story is an imp. So she's put in this room and she doesn't know what to do. And she says that to herself, like, I don't know how this is going to be possible. Like, what am I going to do? So this imp appears, says, I can help you. So there goes your third enemy coming in to furthermore exploit her. So he says, I'll turn it into gold for you if you give me something. So first he takes a necklace, then a ring. Then, of course, now the imp knows the more hay he turns to gold, it's not going to stop. It's going to get worse. Because guess what? Exploiters only want more exploitation. Once they see you're doing what they want, then they want more. They don't say, oh, okay, now you can go. They say, oh shit, this is real. This girl really is doing this. We want more. And the imp knew that too. So she was being extorted on every side. So finally, she has to produce like 2 rooms of gold or something like that. And she goes, this is impossible. So the imp goes, no, I'll do it. I'll do it. She's like, but I have nothing to give you. I have nothing else to give you.
He goes, well, no, I'll do it. And then you can give me your firstborn child.
And she's like, no, I'm not going to do that. And he does it anyway. He's like, oh, I already did it. You owe me your firstborn child. That's it. You know what I'm saying? So anyways, a prince comes and rescues her. The king's son sees her, falls in love with her. She gets rescued out of her situation. The king ends up dying. So the prince becomes king. She becomes queen. She has a baby. Of course, the imp returns and he says, it's time for me to take your baby. She's like, no. He goes, okay, I'll make a deal with you. You, so now he goes to blackmail her, manipulate her. If you can guess my name, then uh, I'll let you keep your baby. Knowing the impossibility of her being able to guess his name. So she guesses over 2 days, wrong, wrong, wrong. Finally, on the third day, she feels inspired to take a walk in the woods. Take a walk just to think. So she's walking along, taking her inspired action, facing this impossible situation, and runs into Rumpelstiltskin in the deep wood, chanting. And he's chanting about how he's going to get this baby. And in his chant, he was stupid enough and prideful enough to say his name, never thinking that she would be around to hear it. She hears it. Quietly, she goes back and she tells him his name. He gets so angry, he falls into his own black pit of anger, never to be seen again. I love this story because it just shows you that it's just a reflection to me of, even though people are doing things to you, or you're being put in situations that like you didn't ask for, you're just like, what? You're being exploited. That still these things can work together for your utmost good and bring you to where you never thought, you know? And that's, to me, that thought is very inspiring and encouraging. It's one of those things where you're like, well, had this never happened, then that would have never happened, right? This is really fucked up to think about, but if my father would have never exploited me, I would have never been queen. It's just like, it boggles your mind, but it keeps your mind out of victimhood, which can be bad for us, but I will talk about the next show that inspired me in the next video. All right, everyone, take care.